10-month update of graduating from school. I think my answer would be quite ambitious on what I think I can achieve in like 10 months. Sometimes I used to sit in class and the words would pass through my ears. Besides just what life was, I also wondered if this is how I wanted my life to be. I have questioned everything about humanity. How many much stories can you not tell in that country? 1, 2, 3. Hi, it's so good to be back. This is the most present video I'm making in real time. Welcome back. My name is Nkemeknti and this is like the first time that I'm practically doing a sit down video. So this video I want to do a get ready with me, a long form one, because I've been doing a lot of short form get ready with me and I was like, long form YouTube needs to get to know me. My name is Nkemek-nti. I've created videos since 2017 on and off because I was in medical school. I was a medical student. I was studying really hard to become a doctor. Recently, I just graduated from school. Not recently. Oh my God, it feels so recent, but I graduated last year, July. For my makeup, I think I'm gonna do like a really simple look because I just want this to be very relaxing. I start with my brows for the most part. Where do I even begin? If anyone told me, Nkemek, you have 10 months of no school, what would you do with your life? I think my answer would be quite ambitious on what I think I can achieve in like 10 months. But there is something really about how time has been running as you get older. Like sometimes I'm like, where did time go? I just woke up. A recap of medical school. Let's just start from where all this began. First year of medical school was just going to classes. When I came here, I met friends and I made friends. We were actually intentionally meant to do Chinese the first year. There was already a set of students that were already here and they had already studied Chinese. So we immediately were pushed into their class. Like most students study Chinese for a year, but I studied Chinese for just a month. And there is this holiday, I think around October. So after that holiday, I immediately started my major. Every medical school culture shock that hit me. But one of the things that I was really scared of at the time was that I wasn't really good enough in terms of not understand. I feel like I always think as a student I'm meant to come into a class knowing what. I'm traumatized by some of our teachers that used to say they taught you this in primary 2. How do you not know in primary 3? So as a science student I was feeling like, oh, I do know this, but why do I not know it all the way through? So that was like one of the scariest things about starting medical school in the very first year, was feeling like you don't have the adequate knowledge to be in medical school. Yeah, at first I'm not really someone that used to push for the most. I just did my best, but at the same time I still wanted it felt good to be told that you are really good, but I relaxed. Second year I do not remember, but I just love the fact I could dress nice and go to class. I had friends. Oh my God, I miss Ruth. And me and Ruth, we just had those university moments where we walk to class and then we buy clothes. It was cute. It was adorable. Like, I do miss it. And then sometimes we went to the labs, the different labs, and then that was when we started our practicals, and then we would do a lot of a test and this thing. I don't even know what that is anymore. But I think school was really fun. Sometimes we do take a huge coaster bus and then we'll go to the hospital. We have the experience of the hospital. Then COVID happened. Because COVID happened during the holiday, a lot of my friends had already gone home for the holiday, but that time China closed its border so much, like everybody was closing their border. Nobody came back in, and then we immediately started like online school. Like they didn't even wait to see what was going to happen. They were just like, let's start with what we have. And that was how everybody that went home was stuck in their country, and we never really got to have in classes anymore. When 2020 happened, the world closed down, but my world opened up. You see all those passions that I used to have and I threw it to the side because of medical school. That was the time I was like, okay, let me focus a little bit on YouTube. And that was the time I was like, what is the trend? What's happening? And I did a lot of those clothing this thing, and that was a time where my YouTube was kind of picking up an audience, and I actually finally got monetized. I was like, wow, Nkemek, you did it. So that was my achievement of 2020 2021 because of the pandemic. I kind of focused on myself a lot, and I think that was when I really keyed into a lot of self-development. Those sense of trying to develop yourself was also some of my most depressing years, and at the same time I think it was also some of the most self-discovery years that I've had. It was quite depressing. It was really, really depressing. It wasn't depressing in the sense of what was happening, but I was digging into my personal life and digging into the person that I was making a lot of self-discovery. So 2020 was that year, and in 2021 I feel like so much also happened that was outside of my own life that influenced me. I was like, I have a strong sense of who I am, and life was like, no you don't, I'm about to teach you more. My brain does not remember things as hard as they hit me. I'm quite forgetful. As much as, let's say, 2020 2021 was really hard, I will remember that time as if those pedals were spread across the streets that I walked in. But in the moment I was going through, I was fighting demons. Medical school has been fun. The teachers were great in certain aspects. One of the subjects that I really liked, as much as I don't like math, was epidemiology and statistics. I think we learned statistics. Really liked biochemistry. Biochemistry was so good because also the teacher was great. Sometimes I used to sit in class and the words would pass through my ears. The words would just be passing, but there were some teachers that would just lock in that your focus, and then you are so interested in what they are teaching. To wrap it all up and go into the internship year, because I feel like internship year is the closest to my graduation and the strongest that I hold the most purpose to a lot of the changes and the mindset shift that I've had. One of the things that happened was how hard life was around the time, and a lot of influences aside medical school that was just hitting me personally. But what we did during internship was a daily commute to the hospital and coming back. Even talking about it, I am exhausted. I have met a ton of people. I have questioned everything about humanity in that 1 year. I was feeling a very strong sense of nihilism. I was like, what is life? The purpose of being a doctor, of this career that I've decided to choose a degree in, is to serve lives. It's really like, it's like a platter of life. Like you are a being, but at the same time, what I'm meant to do for you is bring you to life, treat you in good health and bring you to life. I did question a lot of things about life, personally, about myself, also because of what I was seeing in the hospital. I think the hospital is just daily trauma overdose. I mean it. One of the things that I think about is that if I'm in an environment where it's so joyous and it's so good, it immediately fills you up that when you walk away from that, you're carrying that joy with you. But I'm also realizing that sometimes, as much as I can be very easygoing, an environment that is quite the negative of my energy, as much as I'm trying to be positive, the moment I walk away from that place, I'll be depressed. 1 hour to commute in the morning, or you've got 1 hour of thinking, and then you've got 1 more hour of thinking coming back to school. You've got 2 hours of thinking in 24 hours and even more hours of thinking. While sitting in a car, I will look outside. I want to see what's outside the window. I want to see what car is passing by my side. So you are listening to music and your mind is wandering. I think there is a way doctors are described, like a great doctor is described. You have to have a balance of attachment and detachment. And there is a word that they called it. My friend even said it one time when I was explaining this phenomenon of just like carrying people's pain with me as I leave the hospital. So, and I take it very personal. I think one thing that this career really teaches me is how not special that we are. And I feel like one thing that they really used to teach me as I grew up was the fact of how special I was. Even my academic felt like I was special because I was doing well. But I think coming to a point where you just feel lackluster, like you feel like you're not beyond anyone. Like you also come into a lot of human-like terms. Maybe your environment was what was feeding you a lot of positive remarks that made you feel special, and then you come into an environment that feels like a reality. And I know reality is very subjective. It makes you not feel that special. And as much as I don't really take a lot of the experiences that I had in the hospital very personal, I still feel not too far off from the experiences that these people have. I think it was just always a decline in energy. Aside even like the mental part of it, there is also a physical exhaustion as being there to take care of another person. And it made me really think about, aside just what life was, I also wondered if this is how I wanted my life to be. Is this what all our exams were all worked up to? I don't know if I have gotten to the best stage of medicine, of practicing medicine, to really understand and see the joy in it. But those years I did not. Maybe me too, my life was struggling. And another thing that I was really thinking about was, you don't even have the ability to take care of yourself. Like if your cup is not full, how can you pour into another person? Parent generation would be like, oh yeah, doing something out of myself really brings me joy. I think I go back to my problems every single time. It's kind of hard to bring my 100%. I've not saved my own self. I am dying. I don't look like I'm dying, like I'm not physically dead, but I was dying inside. I am dragging through the mud. How do I save other people? Internship year was really a time of mental stimulation. I feel like I probably had too much time on my hand and much work was not given to us. Maybe I would have focused on the fact, and they were not paying me. Maybe I would have focused on the work more if more work was given to me. I'm not even applying the makeup. I said it's a get ready with me. This is a chit chat. Okay, to go beyond that, after that, I had to write my final exams, write my HSK exams, which is the language speaking exam, so that you could get your certificate. Like that is a requirement. Studying for exams kind of brought me back to the joy of studying. I used to really like studying. Come with this idea that as adults, when you have reached a certain age, I think it takes a lot much higher focus for you to be able to say, yes, I'm studying and this thing is gonna enter my mind. As a young person that doesn't really know much of the world, you don't have too much information that are clouding your brain. I don't think I was able to focus as easily as I did when I was younger to study. So it was just a problem to study. But at the time when we needed to write our final exams and HSK exams to graduate, it came running back. I did my best and I got my results and it was graduation time. One of the things that I thought of normally when you see people celebrate their graduation was just how joyous and how great it was. It was not hitting me. I didn't even feel like I graduated. I did not. I was like, why? I don't feel like it. This is why I feel like regardless of how you feel about something, celebrate. You have to at least have a little window of celebration. The time when we had our celebration, we wore our gowns. It felt like, yeah, I really have gone through this school and I really have done it and I did it. I have really grown as a person, and I think as much as I thought that I've gone through the most difficult parts of my life and I just wanted to cruise through it and enjoy, I feel like the moments that I had it hard yet actually was my personal story, was the moment where I had to build resilience for myself. It had nothing to do with where I was from or like what it could have had in a relation, but in how do I take those situations that are not favorable to me and how do I build myself as an adult. As I said before, I was in a state of nihilism and at the same time I was really fucking depressed. At first I used to not even show it. I used to not say it because it had like such a negative stigma, and also it's like, why the hell can you be depressed when you've got a great life, especially like you are in a good position to make so much of your life, or you are in a good position, why should you really be sad about life? Like, what could even be depressing you? But I did go through it, and I feel like I can openly talk about it in a way that being out of it, I've really come out of it. It was horrible. After graduating, the first winter that I had out of school, I didn't feel depressed, having a lot of struggles, but my mind turned around. I found a new phenomenon Nkemek. My friend one time, you're going through a difficult time, people tell you there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Every little time I was like, I think they're just shining small torchlights for me. Their lights are popping in here and there. And how I explain this is that I don't know how steep a tunnel is to be broken through, but the way that I see it is, if you know, like a barrel, there is a barrel that I don't even know what it is made up of, like it's metal and then it rusts. It's either it's metal, yes, it's metal and it rusts. It's very common in Nigeria, that's why I can remember it. That barrel, over time, rain pours on it like this and that, it will rust. It starts breaking, and there is points where it's breaking, but that thing normally dark, but those broken places start shining their light on it. You don't really have to reach the end of the tunnel for you to see a little bit of light. There is a beam of light that comes through those broken places, and that was that was the way I kind of explained that situation at one point when I was starting to feel really good for myself and about myself. It doesn't have to brighten up the whole place. It doesn't have to look like the light at the end of the tunnel. It just has to shine through so you can make your way through it. I really learned that one of the issues that I had about life was strongly how I was trying to manage every crisis that was coming my way. But I think I'll keep quiet and do this. That really helped me was understanding that I was doing crisis management like as if they hired me in one hotel, and the hotel was my life. I was trying to like manage everything. So when I realized that I can't manage my way through life in a way that I feel like it's a seeking of perfection and hoping that serves me. I didn't really want to be in a place of constantly bombarded with problems, and I think I overanalyze life because that's easily the first thing I can do. Like I work with my brain too much sometimes. I think my brain needs a rest. Was to let go. And another thing that I was struggling with a lot was self-development. I think I was trying to develop myself too much. I was like, where am I developing myself to? I think I've really come into a place where I'm so wholesome. I think there is a sense of openness in terms of career. Only part of medicine that I'm quite interested in, and I'm like, I can go the extra mile. You know how someone says, I want to be the best surgeon in the world. I would want to be the best psychologist, and to actually get into people's mind, and especially from the country that I'm from, I do think that people really need mental health. And it's such a secondary thing. That's the least of it, but I think we do really suffer in our minds so much more than we do in our head. But you will not see me in school present tense goals and things that I'm interested in. I've really put in a couple of months work into social media, and especially short form video. I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I am very interested in the outcome of trying. At the same time, I'm also very interested in TV and film, especially film. I've been writing again, and I've been writing more for myself in a way that I really need the bright ideas to come out. I need the bright ideas to make its way. I understand that Nollywood has really made a really great change in terms of the stories that they're trying to tell. Whenever I watch a film from Nigeria, I see the creativity behind it. I kind of see where the mind was going, but I know they've not arrived where they thought they wanted to go to. Or sometimes I just feel like they're not hitting the emotions that they are trying to get out of the viewer. Sometimes I sit down and I watch these films and I'm almost wanting to criticize it. I'm also like, what if I also make something? And although sometimes you do make videos and you realize that you are not hitting the points that you wanted to hit. So I think in terms of film, as much as I do YouTube videos, in terms of film, if I ever want to get into it, I want to do my best. I want to be the best and really tell those stories the way that I want it to. I want an audience to feel it. Like if I was an audience, I would be like, yes. In the most ways, that is a country that has so much that still has so many fields that can be explored. Literally 2 million lives. How many much stories can you not tell in that country? That's a field that I'm most excited to do my best and be very ambitious in, and I hope and pray, and I cross my fingers, I cross even my legs. If I could, oh yeah, I cross my arms too. And I want the best for myself, but I know that it's a lot of hard work. So that is just what I'm getting from this moment of growing older. For long form videos, I get really ambitious, but it doesn't last me long. I wanted to apply lashes, but they're individual lashes. I bought lashes and they're individual lashes, and I could not give a shit. This is how I tell you I am a very lazy person. I am not the person that I think I am in my head sometimes. The person that I am physically really does betray the person that I am in my head. Constantly. It does. Baby girl, you're dragging us backwards. So I never really thought of writing a book. But now I've been thinking about it after stepping out of medical school, and I'm like, I'm actually interested in seeing if I can write a book. And not even if I can... that I should try and write a book. I am in a really, really good place. I have not been depressed for a while. We thank the Lord. We thank the Lord. Dance a little. Dance, 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 dance. Interesting about just actually looking at life and enjoying it. I've really said a lot. It was just really time. I just wanted to have a chit chat and do just to get ready with me and just talk about life. I think I want to come back to this video in a few years and be like, you were such an interesting person at that time of your life. I didn't do much makeup. I don't think I did much makeup. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot. Ooh. It literally transformed that makeup to something else. I was thinking it's gonna be super light. Why is it so dark? Let me get some tissue. Tissue, please. Yeah, tissue. You go like this. Like this, like this. And then like this. Like this. Who is this fine babe? Look at me. Just fine anyhow. Just be finding for no good reason. Just fine like that. Now, thank you so much for watching and getting to know me. It would be so weird to tell you so much about my life and not tell you. It's been nice to see you here. So it's really been nice to see you here. If you got to this point, thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Like it, subscribe, and I'll be back. And I'll try to be more consistent this time around. Bye. I know my friends understand you gon' hit the town with me. They know I'm invested in connection.